Welcome to the Christ Connection Podcast. We are here to help and encourage you to enjoy your adventure with Jesus. I'm your host, Kevin Senapati-Ratna. Let the journey begin. Hello and welcome to episode number 81 of the Christ Connection Podcast. I'm glad you could join us today. If you are listening to this right when this comes out, well, Christmas has just passed. Merry Christmas. And the New Year is right around the corner. But if you're listening to this anytime, it still works, because we're going to talk today in our 10-minute tool time episode about setting yourself up for success in the next season. And so whether that's the New Year right around the corner, as it is for those who are listening to this, if you're listening to this right away, or if it's just a new season that's coming around, here's how you can set yourself up for success. Just to remind you what 10-minute tool time is all about. It is those shorter episodes where I try within about 10 minutes to give you something practical that you can take to help you in your walk with Jesus in a short, concise manner and form, to give you some, most of the interviews a little bit longer. You kind of pull out and apply the principles, but here I just give it to you. And so we're going to have some fun today, because this is something that I'm pretty passionate about. So the setting yourself up for the next season of life. Now, I'm not going to go too crazy on this because I got 10 minutes, so we're going to try to give you just a few handles to hold on to as you look towards the future and look back from where you are, which is really what it's all about as far as setting yourself up. Now, it really could take a long time when you talk about goals and things like that, and we'll touch on it, but there's just I just want to give you kind of a quick overview and something you can practically do, because sometimes when I'm listening to something, or it just becomes overwhelming when you get too much. So the basic idea here is look back and then look forward. Look back to catch any lessons you need to set yourself up for the next season. What are you learning? Maxwell talks about, experience isn't the best teacher. Evaluated experience is the best teacher. It's those things that we actually think about and learn from. Yeah, you can have lots of experiences. People can do a lot of things, but if you don't evaluate and learn from it, you don't get anything out of it. So one of the things that I like to think about when I'm looking back is the Psalms 23 verse 6. Surely goodness and mercy will follow all the days of our life. Now, if you'd like to dive a little deeper in Psalms 23, last year, as we launched off into the year, we looked at Psalms 23, had a prayer time there, and that's episode 42. So just go back and listen to that. We just work our way through Psalms 23. But the idea in Psalms 23 verse 6 is surely goodness and mercy. I just always think about what my pastor when I was in high school talked about, this verse, that when you are experiencing God in the way that it was designed, you should look over your shoulder and see goodness and mercy following you. So you look back and see goodness and mercy. Yes, there's difficulty. I mean, we're doing this 2020. So you look back, there's challenges. But what are those good things that God has done? What are those places? And you're like, why, Kevin? I'm looking for the future. Well, by taking some time to see that God has, how God has touched, how God has ministered, how God has worked in your life, it sets you up for confidence as you go towards the future. So take some time to look back and through your year. Now, let me just give you two quick ways to do that. Now, there's a lot of things. Again, the second John Maxwell thing here in this episode, but if he takes the whole last week of December just to do this whole process, we're not going to do that. Let me just give you two quick things. First of all, if you're a phone guy like me, I take my phone, or I did this year, and it was kind of fun, just go through the pictures from the year, because it's also a great time to delete those that are kind of silly, but go through your pictures from the last year, just scroll through, and what good things has God done in the last year? What highlight moments can you take, even in crazy times like this? What are those pictures that capture, oh yeah, we did that, or we did this as a family, or God touched me in that moment, moment, what are those things that you can grab a hold of and look back? So that's one way. Just go through your pictures. Take 5-10 minutes and scroll through. If you're a lot of pictures, well, it might take longer, but just go through the pictures and think about the goodness of God and the mercy in your life. The second idea with that is to look through your calendar. Now, however you capture that, maybe you're a person who just does it on paper and throws it away. That's fine. But go through your Google Calendar and just scroll through the year. How fast or how slow you do that, that's up to you. But go through and look at what made your calendar and what things you can celebrate, what things are things that you can learn from it. And look for the goodness and mercy of God, which then will lead you to the next thing, looking forward. Now, again, you could take a long time with looking back, and I recommend as much as you feel comfortable, but do something. Don't get caught up in saying, "Oh, I can't do any things," because that sounds like it would take me months to go through my pictures. Okay, don't just go highlights and do something. Maybe set a timer for 5 minutes and look through your pictures. Take 5 minutes, look through your calendar, and see what God has done. Then, as you look forward, now I could take a long time talking about working through each of the different types of areas that you want to look forward through, but that's not what we got today. What I want you to do today is do a very simple practice that will help you look towards the future. That simple practice that I'm going to challenge you to do is ask God one question, just one question today, and that question is, as I look forward, is there anything you want me to know or do? As I look forward. So now that's where this could be a week, this could be a month, it could be the whole year. Maybe you begin to look 5 years, and we'll talk about that in future episodes, I believe, with some of the interviews we got going in January. But just now saying, anything, God, that you want me to know and do for the next season. Know is speaking about allowing God to prophetically speak to your heart. Paul talks about eagerly desiring spiritual gifts, especially to prophesy. What does God want to speak to your heart towards this next season? Maybe a word. I always for the last few years, I've been doing a word for the year and a verse for the year. What are those verses that come to mind? This year I actually did a verse for the ministry and a verse for myself personally, a word for the year personally and a word for the ministry. And so those things, and just say anything you want me to know. And then second, anything you want me to do. Now this can be specific goals that he would have for you, or it might just be kind of just a phrase, a thought that you can capture. Again, this is not super complicated, but it will give you something. Because rather than just saying, God, January 1st and saying, okay, I want to do all these things, take a few moments and pray and say, God, speak to me. Speak to me, and simply that one question. And even if you sit with it for a whole week, say anything you want me to know, anything you want me to do, and see what he says to you. I hope that's an encouragement to you to look back, look forward, and set yourself up for success in the next season that is ahead. So, Lord, now I pray you'd bless my friend. May they experience your goodness and mercy as they look back upon your goodness and mercy in their life. And as they look forward, they would feel you speaking to them clearly about what you want them to know and what you want them to do. In your name, amen. One last thing before you go. Set yourself up for success by subscribing to the podcast wherever you're listening to this, because my goal is to help you grow in your relationship with Jesus, to be a resource to you every week. So subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.